TheGoldMighne.
Yo, this the GoldMighne. We back at it again, number 3 with DJ Kreep. You already know I had to have my G on the show.
Oh, what's up, boy? What's going on with it, man? Everything straight, everything
For all
good.
y'all that don't know who he is, he DJs on 99 Jams, he DJs at Playhouse, and I just wanted to get a DJ on the show so they can kind of share, you know, their knowledge, their insight, maybe drop a couple gems on some artists.
Oh, for sure.
And we're going to just talk about, like, you know, what's going on right now, whatever's on your mind. Like,
absolutely, man.
This show, there's no scripts. There's really no topics.
It's just right off the dome.
We just having a conversation with me, with them, with the people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let's get into it, man. It's the GoldMighne. I introduced you, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead and introduce yourself as well. Let them know what you want to know.
My name is DJ Kreep. I've been DJing my whole life. We in some hard times. We in some crazy times right now. All the clubs shut down. So basically everybody who is a nightclub DJ or a strip club DJ or any type of DJ is all out of work right now. Has been for like the past 100 days.
Right.
A lot of people.
Yeah, shit is crazy.
A lot of people switched their hustles though.
Yeah.
And went different routes. And
I definitely picked up a couple more hustles just in the time of the quarantine, and I'm surprised I made a lot of money during this quarantine. But I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good, bro. Yeah, but that's what you're supposed to do. Like, damn, a lot of people was comfortable doing the clubs. Oh, the clubs are never gonna close.
Yeah,
you know. So it's like, but I just honestly, I've been working with this man right here. We've been working on beats. I've been in the studio recording artists.
And let them know about the EP.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got the DJ Kreep EP out now. That's already out now on all streaming platforms. I fucked with all Miami artists. Briscoe, Billy Blue, you know what I'm saying? Raidenrush, Smiles Official, V Stuck, a lot of other artists. J-Bo, Dreadwood, a lot of people, too many to mention. So, and I'm just keep on making music. That's what's keeping me sane right now. And like the pandemic happened, and a couple of days later, I got a phone call from Radio Big Mac from 99 Jams, and he was like, "Yo, we doing the show."
So Big Mac called.
Big Mac called me personally, and he was like,
"Shout out Big Mac."
Hey man, shout out Big Mac. He a real motherfucker. Like, he a real motherfucker. Big Mac. That's actually who just texted me right now. But he called me. He's like, "Kreep, we're doing this shit called Quarantine and Chill Mix Show. You want to be a part of it?" Absolutely. So basically that has kept me busy, like kept me sane during this whole shit. And then, true to his word, Mac introduced me to Jill Estrada, the program director, the big boss over. Shout out Jill Estrada too.
Yeah, shout out to her. I got a chance to meet her. Actually.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, when I won the 99 Jams coach.
Oh yeah, that's right. You tell me.
Ended up winning the Artist of the Year. I got to meet her. She's pretty cool. Yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Like, I've got to be a part of, like, you know, big mix show weekends, and it feels like a blessing. Even though the pandemic is happening right now and all the shit shut down, you know, we still working, and I thank God for that, and I thank God for that opportunity. So
I know you wanted to. Well, both of us. I wanted to talk about like some shit when it comes to DJs, like. Bring me into your world as far as like, you know, I drop a lot of gems for artists.
Right.
I know, you know, I'm doing the Jewel of the Day thing.
Right.
Just kind of dropping free game. But I've never really dropped any jewels on the side of like being on a DJ's aspect. You feel me? So, like, what are some of the things that you see going in the club or with artists that might approach you or hit you up? Like, do they email you? Do they come up to you in the club? Do they hit you on Instagram?
Every night I'm DJing. It depends what club it is, but if you're in a club where the DJ booth is accessible, an artist is always going to come up to try to talk to you. Hey, bro, can you play my single? I'm going to tell your artist there's a right way and a wrong way. So it's super simple. You know, hey, bro, play my shit. Oh, I got a hit record. My shit hitting. Da 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 da. Don't come up with all that, okay? Like, you know, I got a hit record. The crowd going to determine if it's a hit record. So I'm going to take the time. I'll be like, yo, send it to me, right? I say send it to me. Some DJs will charge, oh, throw me $50, I'm gonna run your record. Throw me $100, I'm gonna run your record. What I do is I have the artist send me the shit right there. I listen to it. If I can't play it, I'm not even gonna take your money. I don't care.
What, on the headphones?
Right, on the headphones, right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I could download your record right there in the club.
Right.
I mean, you know. So if I can't vibe with it, if it's not going into and I know the club's not gonna vibe, my girl's not gonna vibe with it, I'm not gonna play it.
So you don't even accept money if you don't like it.
Right. If I don't like it. If I vibe with it, I tell the artist, yo, that's cool.
Even if they want to pay you.
Right. You don't want to pay me. I had to do that a couple of times. I feel bad, but
if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. I'm going to tell them straight up. I'm not a yes man. Like, oh, that's just, I'll be like, yo, that's not it. Okay. Go do something else. I've told them many times. So, always look out for the DJ. You know, it don't matter. You don't have to throw them $100. You throw them to 20. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, what you want to drink?
Throw them
a blunt,
a pack of Kreep OG.
Now we talk about that later. But you know, don't forget Kreep OG coming soon to recreational states. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But you know, it's simple. Developing relationships with the DJs in your areas is very important. A lot of DJs are clicked up and kind of like, I don't want to say like act superior and shit like that, but there's also a lot of DJs in big places.
They damn sure enough do, man.
Yeah, for real.
A lot of them I don't even like dealing with or even trying to holler at because they be on some shit.
A lot of DJs don't stay humble, and you know, and that's cool, like, you know, but I believe humble is the key. No matter how much success you get or how high accolades you get in life, how much money you make, always keep it humble. It's the same. Like me, I was that intern back in the day. I used to sleep on the floor of the station because I couldn't fucking drive home. I didn't have enough gas money to get home. And then I would watch, like, you know, Khaled and fucking K-Fox do their show back in like 2003 and be like, oh. And now, full circle, 2020, like, I was given an opportunity to DJ on the actual station. I don't know, shit. It's funny how things work, but
yeah.
But you know, okay, let's get back to the artist thing though. It's the relationship with the DJ very important. Hit them up online. Check in. Don't just give them your music and, like, you know, hit them back once or twice. Hey, did you ever get a chance to vibe with that record? What do you think? What's your input? You know? And I'll tell people straight up, like, a lot of shit.
When you like a record you play, do you keep playing it after they like aren't there? Like,
yeah, if it's a hot record, then yeah,
you'll keep playing.
Because honestly, I'll play a hot record, and the girls, they bop to it. They might come up and be like, "Hey, who was that?" When you play that shit again, and
have any of the dancers ever came to you
all the time
and tell you to replay that song?
All the time, and it's local artists that are trying to pop their record. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they paying them though.
Right, but this is another thing.
So that's another way, right?
If you're in a strip club, right, and I've seen a lot of artists who they have hot records. They come and they throw huge bags, like 10 grand, all over the fucking floor. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be asking for your record after that when you come in the club. All the girls are gonna rush to the DJ. Hey, can you play? Oh my God, so you know,
because they know they're gonna drop that bag.
Right. So it takes a budget to. I don't recommend. Well, that's if you want. You want to go through to 10 grand. That's cool. That's on you. But you know, whatever your budget is.
10 grand, boy. That's a lot of money. I'd rather spend that on a Cuban link or something.
I know. I
just throw that bitch in the club.
I actually saw a
But it does make sense, and I do agree that artists do need to show their face. They need to be in the club. If you in the strip club, don't be just sitting there not spending no money.
Right.
At least spend something. You ain't got to throw 10 G's. You could throw a G.
You can throw 100, a couple of hundred. Like, you don't have to do nothing crazy.
It's all part of being a rapper and an artist. Like,
it definitely is. It definitely is.
But yeah, I feel like that's one of my setbacks. Like me, I feel like one of my setbacks is I never created relationships with DJs like that.
Right.
Like you one of the only DJs besides DJ Khaled that I really like had a relationship with and dealt with.
Right.
But like, who else was there? Like I used to deal with DJ Daddy Fats.
Yeah.
When they were doing a little local love show on 102.3, so I was kind of connected with him. But I feel like all the time that I've been in the game, I really haven't took advantage, and I haven't like established those relationships with DJs.
Super important, because like all DJs can get your music in the markets that you never. They'll walk you into places where
another reason why I haven't those, because I feel like.
You know what I realized with you and my time knowing you, that you were a very studio bound, right. Like you being here creating and knocking out heat every day for hours at a time. You know what I'm saying? You're very dedicated to your craft.
Right.
Very, very dedicated, super talented, and you just like create. So you have so much shit, you know what I'm saying? So that when you do get the relationship with all these DJs, you're gonna have like 800 songs already.
Right.
You know? Yeah. You could pick any one of your shits.
Especially with this quarantine, I ain't been having nothing to do but be stuck in this studio.
Right, so
there ain't nothing to do but to work. I honestly don't even feel like, I don't even know how to feel about going to restaurants and going to clubs like that. Like, because it's like they say it's spiking, and they say it's not, and they say all these people dying. Like, it's just crazy.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
You said they opened the club up and they closed
the club up, they close it down. Open club up, they close it down again. Miami, all the clubs are popping right now. There's a lot of clubs open right now, and in Broward we kind of waiting. But honestly, I see some clubs starting to open in Broward, so I'm just waiting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're in unprecedented times right now,
right,
where people really don't know how to react to this shit, and it's easy to get frustrated and be like, "Damn, well, you know, that closed my blah 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 blah," but you know, they just being safe. But at the same time, motherfuckers ready to go out and get the bag again. Now, this whole shutdown has been an underground club scene that thrived.
Yeah.
And I know people personally made bands.
Right.
They just, basically they were like, okay, the clubs are shut down. They're like, okay, no, they're not. Clubs. We made our own club.
Right.
And they were, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just got booked for a show on kind of some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he just hit me up and was like, this is the second time he had to reschedule. He said, yo, the city just came and shut us down. Said we can't have the party. So now it's like, we got to reschedule. But yeah, he booked me in Iceberg to do a show. It was supposed to be July the 12th.
Yeah.
And the shit got rescheduled again because the city came and fucked with him about it.
Fucking
I guess because of the flyer. They probably seen the flyer or some shit.
These things are like invite only or stuff like that. And like people, but I haven't DJ'd any of them yet. I was like, yo, in March 15th is when they close our club down. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to keep it inside, chill with my daughter. I'm not going to come outside until, you know, I thought June 15th was supposed to be the day everything was going to open. That didn't happen.
Bro, we like 6 months into the year. Like, we done lost
the whole quarter.
Year. Like,
not a half.
At least a quarter.
It will be a half if it keeps.
It feels like we lost a half a year already. Like, we halfway into the year. It's only a half year
Do we
left.
really lose a year, or do we find time to gain some insight onto some other shit that...
Well, when I say lose, I mean...
No, I know what you mean.
I guess what I'm trying to say is being quarantined. And being, like, almost kind of, like, restricted.
Right, I feel you on that.
And having that feeling of being restricted.
Yeah.
And just not knowing what the hell's going on. Now they talking about the second wave.
I don't know shit about fuck. I really don't. I wish I did. I mean, I don't know what.
Ozark.
Yeah.
I fuck with that shit. Yeah, that's a good show. I ain't gonna lie, it's a good show, but I ain't finished watching it. I
gotta finish watching season 3.
I watched like up to that episode where she said that quote.
Yeah.
I think I probably seen 2 more episodes after that.
I want to watch season 3 for sure.
But yeah, I know I'm jumping all over the place. I wanted to go back to the whole DJ thing because I just remember what I wanted to ask you, or not ask you. I wanted to just say that, like, one of the reasons I haven't fucked with DJs up until this point is because I feel like, all right, I end up giving the DJ some money, not you per se.
Right.
Like, I know you and I fuck with you, but like, if I always felt like, oh, all right, why am I gonna give a DJ this money and then once I leave, I don't think the DJ is going to be playing. I done seen from my experiences, DJs take money from artists and they're supposed to be on payroll, and then they'll like play the record like 30, 40 seconds of the record and record like a quick little Instagram story to make it look like they're going in on the record. But really, I'm in the club and I'm watching them playing what they playing.
Yeah.
And they not playing their record.
I see that shit happen all the time. And you know what? DJs that do good business don't do that. DJs that don't really keep their face clean do bad business, and bad business spread. So I keep my face clean. If you know what I'm saying, I got business dealings with someone, I always keep true to my word. And you know what, we need. I've seen DJs get beat up for that.
We need to come up with some type of app that like monitors what the DJ's playing for artists that they're taking money for. Like if an artist could pay a DJ and then they can monitor the records that they playing.
Like when he starts playing it, you would see it some type of indication, like a BDS tracker.
Right, DJ Kreep is live and he's playing
so and so. Yeah,
he's playing H2O right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be some tight shit. Like, yeah, I just always had trust issues dealing with DJs.
You know what it is? It's Florida, like it's cool to get your record, play with DJ, like, you know what I'm saying, paying the DJs and this, that, and the third. But honestly, a hit record, the more thing should be to concentrate on making a hit record that they're gonna want to play it.
Right.
you don't gotta pay them shit. They're gonna want to play the shit because it's hot.
Right. Once the record's hot, you finna play it because that's what they want to hear.
I hadn't the last record I heard was.
How does a record get that hot though? DJs have to start playing.
Right, DJs start playing it. Then the other DJs are hitting.
It has to be viral and popping on social media.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it's not just like DJing. It's like almost like you gotta be buzzing on all platforms in the club, social media, or these DJ with MP3 something you told me about where they email out the records.
MP3 pools, you know what I'm saying? DJs be on that shit all day looking for new records.
They email out local artist shit, like their records that are buzzing, or do they just focus on majors, major
both?
Artists?
Both, yeah, they got sections for both.
Okay.
So it's but the last record I heard was this dude named DKE Arthur. And I was in the club and DJ Meat was playing.
Right?
No, he's from West Palm. He's from.
I knew he was from Florida.
I think Belglade or something, or Riviera Beach, somewhere around there.
I think he was dealing with Lex, right?
No, yeah, he was. Yeah. And this dude, he had this song called "That Guy," and I heard DJ Meat playing the record. I ran over to Meat. I was like, "Yo, who is that? What that shit snapping?"
Yeah.
You know, and that's an example of a record that I heard. I'm like, I gotta put that in my crate. So it's like artists should be concentrating on making that heat, not just throwing some shit together and being like, you gotta really perfect and have passion for your craft or what you're doing.
Right.
Because when you put that final product in somebody else's hands, you're gonna want them to fuck with it.
But yeah, that's one thing I never got into, and I think if everything starts back opening up, I don't even know if things are ever gonna even go back to normal. I can't even tell what the fuck is about to happen. I
don't know either.
I wouldn't be surprised at a lot of shit that might happen. It's just so much crazy stuff I'm seeing going on, and we're living in some weird, strange, interesting times right now.
This shit is beyond anything I ever seen in my life, where they shut the whole shit down.
Right.
I feel
this ain't never happened before, ever, as far as I know.
Right.
Shutting the whole world down because of a virus, and the numbers really ain't adding up. I don't know. This whole shit is just weird, man. I personally feel like there's an agenda. I feel like they trying to push martial law. I feel like they want these riots going on. We're just being set up. We're being played like chess. It's just so I done went deep in the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
All the way from 2010, I've been going in the rabbit hole. So it's like.
It could be anything, dog. I have no idea what's going on with this shit. But all I want to do is get back to doing what I love, which is DJing.
Yeah.
In a club for a crowd of people and vibing, and them vibing with what the fuck I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? Feeding off that energy and getting you know.
Trust me, I'm ready to start.
I'm ready.
Booking more sessions and going back to other people's studios, working, traveling. This shit's just holding everything up. But yeah, hopefully everything will just go back to normal. But like I said, I don't know if anything's really gonna go back to how it really was, all the way to how it was before this shit.
Yeah, but all we could do is wait and see every day. Take it day by day. That's what I'm doing. Is taking it day by day.
So yeah, you want to tell them about the Kreep OG, man?
Basically, the Kreep OG is DJ Kreep's new strain of marijuana. I've been a cannabis connoisseur my whole life, and I always wanted to, to do my own shit. I recently got the opportunity to do so. So this is the end result, which is called Kreep OG. It's pre-rolls, and we're gonna come out with flour. Gonna come out with shatter. We're gonna come out with edible. All that.
This box is dope, man. I like that.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Put this together nice, man.
Thank you, man. I came up with. I actually designed the box and everything myself, all the dimensions and all that.
It's like a Black and Mild box.
Yeah. It's basically designed for convenience on the go. So my on the go smokers, our first product is for you. Boom. You up and smoking. You don't gotta worry about rolling up, grinding your shit up. Everything is done for you. All you have to do is light it and smoke it.
So it comes with 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I definitely want to get into the premium joint space as well, which is basically pre-rolls, and they got the keef on it, and they got the wax and all that shit on it.
Yeah.
Like moon rocks almost, you know what I'm saying? So I really want to get into the premium side of that as well, which we will be doing.
That's what's up. You gotta bring me a couple boxes of these, man, so I can give them out.
Almost definitely.
On the GoldMighne show to the guests.
We can do some giveaways and shit.
I think I'm gonna have. I ain't even gonna say who I'm gonna have next time because I don't wanna say they're gonna be the next guest and it's not. But I got a few special guests coming on the next couple of shows, so y'all stay tuned for that.
I like that.
But yeah, back to the Kreep OG. Like, that's dope, man. I like the box. You want to let them know where to follow you?
You follow me at Kreep OG on Instagram.
Just Instagram?
Yeah, just Instagram right now at Kreep OG.
Okay.
And you can just follow us on there and see what we're doing with the brand. It's only available in recreational states, so it's not available down here in Florida yet. But
that's what's up.
Will be when we do recreationalize. Is that even a word?
Let's get a little close up on the box. Hold the box up. All right, that's the front. That's the back. Y'all see that? Kreep OG, baby. Y'all get ready for it.
yeah.
I gotta come out with that the Raiden pack next.
The Raiden pack. The soy sauce. The infused soy sauce.
I'm gonna call it fatality.
Fatality.
I like that.
You take one hit of that bitch. Fatality.
I like that.
Finish him. No, that's what it's gonna be called. It's gonna be called
Finish him. Let's
finish him.
It'll have like 1,000 milligrams of THC in the soy sauce. Knock your ass out.
Finish him.
Fatality.
How long you been making beats for, bro?
Making beats, man. I talked about this on the last show with Crackerlack. Shout out to Crackerlack. But yeah, I've been making beats since I was like 11. That's when I first started.
Damn.
Yeah, I first started.
That's a long time.
About 11 years old. And like I was saying on the last show, you know, I started off the way I started. My dad started me playing drums when I was a kid. Like
Same.
3 years old.
Yeah.
My mom, she's a pianist, so I was taught the piano, the drums. I grew up playing drums in the church, playing drums in school. And then when I turned 11, I met my boy Derek, Sleazeball, and he used to rap.
Okay.
Not like professionally. He wasn't trying to like really be a rapper, but he could rap and he enjoyed doing it. And he was like a hip hop head.
Yeah.
He's the one who introduced me to rap.
Yeah.
He introduced me to Wu-Tang, No Limit. Those were like my first albums that I bought as far as rap albums.
It's dope.
So he's like, yo, you should start making beats. I was like, what do you mean make beats? Like, at that time, I'm just playing drums and stuff. I don't know nothing about making beats. So he was like, why don't you start doing that? I got into hip-hop and I fell in love with it through Wu-Tang and No Limit. And then my mom had an electric keyboard at the house.
Started fucking with it.
Already with a speaker. Yeah. So I just started messing with the keyboard, I started out trying to copy other people's beats.
Yeah.
I was like trying to dissect the sounds that they use. Like, where can I find this sound? How can I play it like that? And then I got into it, and then I bought a Dr. Roland 808 or 880. It's like a little small square drum machine.
Yeah.
Where you could program drums into it. So I would just program my drums. And the way I would do is I program the drums on the drum machine, and I had a little tape recorder about the size of this OG Kreep pack. And I'll push record on it, and then I'll play the drums and let the sequence play on the drum machine, and then play the
keys at the same time. Yeah,
you keys live, and then I have a beat on the fucking tape, the actual cassette tape recorder.
That's funny, bro.
So that's how I started.
Take us through the process of like how you make a beat these days in 2020.
Well, after that, when I first what got me into the game was me dealing with Trick. So when I was dealing with Trick at that time.
How did you end up meeting with Trick Daddy in the first place, and even like
that's another thing I discussed on the first and the second show. But how I met them or how I got in with Trick was basically, it was because of I had a clique called Too Hot Records at the time. It was me and 4 other partners. We all grew up together. We started a label together, Too Hot Records.
Yeah.
We had 5 artists underneath us, including myself. And then we were just like my boy Mike. I believe it was my boy Mike. He was like, yo, let's try to get Rush a show in South Beach. I'm like 15, 16 at the time.
Yeah.
I don't got no money. I don't got no car. I definitely ain't got no ID to get in no club or nothing like that.
Right.
So we ended up going. I didn't want to go. My boy Skrill didn't want to go. We ain't about that life walking around Miami sweating our asses off.
Yeah.
But my boy Mike, Juice, they like being out. Like Mike, he's a people person. He likes talking to people, being places at that time. Now he's a family man, but at the time he's like, yo, let's go get a show. So we all go to South Beach. I can't remember who drove. It was probably my boy Sleazeball or one of them fools. So we drive down there. We're walking around South Beach, hot as hell, sweating our asses off because it'd be humid as hell at nighttime.
Of course.
So it's nighttime. We're walking around South Beach, and then we just get really hot. We're sweating. It was like, man, we see a hotel. It was like, let's go into this hotel and just cool off in the AC. So we go in the lobby, and we're just cooling off. You know what I'm saying? Chilling, trying to figure out our next move. So then we still don't know what we're doing. We're just bullshitting, talking. We go to the back of the hotel, and there's like this outdoor gym. So we're sitting in the outdoor gym, and my boy Mike's like, yo, let's fuck this, man. Let's just go out and try to find us a club and see what we can do.
Yeah.
So, all right, we leave, we go out the club, and as soon as we walk down the street, we see a club called Zeno's, which was Benzino's.
Yeah, I
club.
remember that shit. I remember that.
Benzino
Taking it back.
He had two different locations. So the first location, this was the first Benzino's club.
I remember that club very well.
So we walk up to the club, and it's closed. It's not open yet. I think it was probably like 8 o'clock, something that at night. And we're knocking on the door. Nobody's answering. So I was like, fuck this. We start walking away or getting ready to leave. And then we see this dude walking up. And he's like, yo, I'm the janitor. He's like, you guys looking for the manager? Or he basically told us the club ain't open until like another hour or two.
Yeah.
And the manager will be there soon. And we're like, all right. And we're not really thinking much of it. We about ready to leave. And we're probably like thinking, all right, we might come back later. He tells us, oh, by the way, Trick Daddy's dad is the manager. I'm like, Trick Daddy's dad? At this time, Trick is like, he's like the Kodak at that time. Like Trick still is like one of the biggest legends in Florida as far as rappers.
That's true.
But at that time, Trick was in his prime. I think Trick had Thug Matrimony out at that time.
Yeah.
With the Let's Go, if you want it, him and Lil Jon.
Yeah, with that Lil Jon, yeah.
I think that was out at that time. I'm pretty sure that it was around that era. So then we like, damn, Trick Daddy's dad. So I'm like, all right, let's wait. Let's wait and see if he comes. We waited out there for at least an hour or more. It could have been 2 hours. I don't know how long it was. It was a long time ago, but we waited a long time. And here goes Trick Daddy's dad walking up. I still didn't believe it was him, though. Yeah. Because I'm looking at Pops. I'm like, he kind of looked like Trick Daddy, but I don't know.
So how did y'all, like, you know what I'm saying, talk to him? And
I shake his hand like, yo, he's looking at all of us like, hey, how can I help y'all? You know, shout out to Pops, man. Legend, another legend in Florida, real well known down here. He runs a lot of clubs. But, yeah, shout out to Pops. But, yeah, I meet Pops. He's like, how can I help y'all? So we tell him, you know, I'm an artist. I'm a rapper. Yeah. I'm trying to book a show and see where I can get a show at. So he's like, all right. He tells us to come in the club, and he lets us in. Nobody's in the club at that time. It's just him and all the workers, bartenders, the cleanup crew. So it's probably like 10 of us in there.
Trying to picture this shit.
So we in Zeno's. It was a nice sized club. It's probably like.
I know, I've been there.
Yeah. So you know how
I've been there. Yeah,
it's a nice sized club. So we in there. I'm looking around. Them bartenders and the cleanup crew, and then I give Pops my CD. He was like, "Bring it to the DJ, so I could hear it. What you got?" I bring my CD to the DJ, and I probably had like 10 to 20 tracks on it. Yeah. And they played a couple of my songs, and I was just kind of looking around at people's reactions, seeing if they were bobbing. People were bobbing their head, you know, just the workers in the club. And Pops was like, cool, man, you know, I like it. I like what you got. It sounds pretty good. Like, let's stay in contact. Nothing really came about it. I didn't really get a show there or nothing like that. But I established a relationship with him. Right. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know Trick Daddy's dad. So then 6 months goes by. Nothing really happened.
Nothing happened, right?
My boy Juice is looking through an Ozone magazine. At that time, we had something called an Ozone magazine. And he's looking.
I remember Ozone. Shout out Julia Beverly. Yeah. I think her name was Julia Beverly.
Yeah, Julia. Yeah. Shout out Julia. I've met her a couple times.
She cool. She a hustler. Shout out Julia Beverly. Ozone magazine was dope back in the day.
Y'all need to bring that Ozone back unless it's already up and I don't know about it, like on digital platform or something like Instagram or whatever. But yeah, so my manager Juice. At the time, and he still is my manager now, he looked through the Ozone magazine, and he found this dude named Chuck's number in it. And Chuck just happened to be Trick Daddy's manager and his blood brother, which is Pop's son, his other son as well.
So you called him?
So he calls him. He tells us, you know, we met up with Pops and this and that. Let's get a meeting going, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm wrong. We had another meeting with Pops. That's what it was. We met up with. So 6 months went by. We end up. My boy ended up hitting Pops up and said, "Let's meet up again," because I had some new music. And I was a little more polished up.
Okay.
So then we meet up with him a second time at Zeno's second location. So we at Club Zeno number 2 now.
Yeah.
Because he moved the club. It's still on South Beach, but he moved it to another street. So we go to there. We walk in there, and Pops is like, "Man, y'all boys walked in here like y'all the mafia. Like, I like how y'all roll. Like, y'all like a team." So then we sit down. He makes us some drinks. We, you know what I'm saying? We just vibing. And he lets me put my CD in the player. He starts playing my song. And heard a song called Wooden Leather. I had a song called Wooden Leather. At this time, like it's about 6 months later, this one like Nelly was hot.
Yeah.
Nelly was like in his prime.
And you were making all the beats too.
I was doing everything.
Everything, okay.
Yeah. And I let Pops know that, you know.
Yeah.
So he's listening to it. He's like, "Damn, I really like this song, Wooden Leather." He's like, "You know what? This is the perfect time that you coming to me. My son Maurice just happened to start. He's starting his own label now called Dunk Riders." So we like, "Oh shit!" All right. He's like, "I think that you'll be a good fit. I wanna you need to link up with my son Maurice with Trick Daddy." So that's when I believe this is when my manager Juice opened up the Ozone and found Chuck's number, which is Trick Daddy's manager and his blood brother.
And you hit him up.
He calls him up. We tell him, you know, we already know Pops. Pops like the music. Let's link up. Let's talk. So we go to Chuck's office in South Beach. I think it was Michigan Road or Michigan Ave, something like that. Right on South Beach. So we go to Chuck's office. We're talking to him. And I could tell he's interested in me. You know, we had a sit down with me and my 4 partners. And basically we came to the conclusion like Chuck was interested. He said, "Yo," he wanted to put me down on the team as a producer and an artist. Because I think I brought some tracks that day too. I brought the Wooden Leather.
How did
my beats.
your first how did Fuck the Other Side like come about?
That came, so once this happened, the meeting, the next time I met up, I had a contract. It was a producer-artist agreement.
Right.
I signed the contract. I was about 16 at that time. And then that's when my relationship started with Trick and them.
Okay.
I sold them a beat. They bought a beat from me. It was called 411. And I went to the Circa House, and I was with Trick Daddy at the Circa House. I think he did a song to it, something like that. And then after that, I was with Trick Daddy for maybe like 2 years, 3 years, just grinding it out. I would go to his he had a place out in Carroll City, like this little trap type of house out there. And I would just go there every day, drive my Cadillac from Deerfield to Carroll City.
God damn.
Every day. And then I started working over there. I put in like 2-3 years over there just making beats, making records. And I would literally come out and put it in the PlayStation for Trick Daddy. Because Trick would always be chilling in the little living room.
Right.
Shout out to Bo. Shout out to Rush. Shout out to Chronic Chris. Shout out to Fat Boy. Shout out to Chaos. Shout out to Dirtbag. We all was over there. Khaled came over a couple times too.
That's crazy.
So we all, you know, it would be all of us over there. And I put a couple years in there. Then I started a relationship with Mike Karen at Atlantic Records. He runs like Warner Music and also Atlantic Records now. He's like at the top of the pyramid.
Dope.
Shout out Mike Karen. So I built a relationship with Mike Karen because Atlantic Records was behind Trick Daddy's album at the time with Slip and Slide. It was Slip and Slide at Atlantic Records with the Thug Matrimony, and then Backed by Thug the Man was the album I worked on. And that's when I started a relationship with Mike Karen.
And now you're able to get your beats to other bigger artists.
Right. So now I got Mike Karen believing in me and talking to me, you know what I'm saying, and building a relationship. And now he's starting to send me beat CDs. Mike Karen, I would get a knock at the door and there'd be a brown envelope with a CD in it. I'll open it, put it in the CD player, and there'd be like a beat from Manny Fresh, a beat from the Runners, a beat from, it would be all the hottest producers, and it'd be like maybe 10 different beats. So he started sending me CDs with beats because he liked my writing. He liked the records I was writing. So one of those beats was the Bet That beat, produced by the Runners. I didn't know who produced it, but it was produced by the Runners, and they were producing everything at the time. I'm So Hood. Yeah. That whole beginning of DJ Khaled's career.
The Runners were real, honestly,
they running shit. It. Yeah. So, and I met the Runners before they, blew up too at South Beat Records. I was dealing with Jim Johnson. I actually co-produced Lil Wayne's Bullshit record with Jim Johnson.
Dope.
I dealt with Yellow Wolf over there with Jim Johnson. That was Jim Johnson artist, Yellow Wolf.
I remember Yellow Wolf.
I met T-Pain there. I worked with Pretty Ricky over there. And that's actually where I produced the Plies. There's a gold record behind this camera here, but that's where I produced that Plies record at South Beat. I was with Pretty Ricky trying to make them a record, and I produced that beat for them. And then like a week later, I went in Chuck's office. He's like, yo, Plies did a record to one of your beats.
Dope.
And that was the record, On My Dick. I'm on my dick, dog. Gotta make something happen.
That's dope, man.
So that's how that happened. But
that's dope.
To answer your question, I know it's a long explanation. How did Fuck the Other Side came about?
Yeah.
I had to explain all of this so now you can understand how it came about. So now that I got Bet That under my belt, I made a song. I wrote a whole solo song to the Bet That beat. It wasn't called Bet That Beat. It was just a beat on the CD. I honestly thought that it was Dipset's producer. For some reason, like when I heard the beat, it just gave me like a Dipset type of vibe for some reason because it got like the choir singing in the back.
Yeah.
So I wrote the song sitting in my car. I was in my Cadillac, DeVille, sitting in there. And at that time, I've been with Trick for like 2 years. I'm like, yo, I gotta make something happen. I'm not leaving this car until I write a hit. I put the CD in, and I literally wrote the Bet That hook in my head sitting in the car. And then I ended up recording a whole solo song to it. 3 verses. It was a Gold Rush song.
Yeah.
Then
Send it to him.
Trick and Atlantic Records got a hold of it. Trick went out of town to Atlanta, and then he was chilling with Gucci Mane. He came back, and they had the record done. I guess he recorded it either on the bus or in Atlanta. So then the Bet That song was done. I go to Chuck's office. I used to go to Chuck's office like every day or every other day in South Beach. So I'm driving every day to South Beach to his office, and I'm driving every day to Carroll City to Trick's little spot out in Carroll City. So I go to his office, and then he plays me the Bet That record. Trick's on it. He got his verse on it. He's singing the hook.
Yeah.
And then he plays me Chamillionaire's verse.
Right.
This is when Chamillionaire was in his prime as
well.
Right,
yeah, I remember you had that run.
So I'm like, yo, y'all got fucking Chamillionaire on this shit? I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And I think E40 did a verse on it also, but they didn't release that.
They didn't release that version?
Yeah, I think he either did a verse or he was going to, and it didn't happen. And so that's how the Bet That record came about. And now that I remember, in that process, remember the 411 beat that I told you I originally sold Trick when I first signed with them.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantic Records ended up making a record with that. So T-Pain did the hook. They had Juvenile on the verse. And they had Pimp C on the verse. This is crazy. Like, I had Pimp C rap on my beat.
That's legendary.
R.I.P. to Pimp C. I never thought I would have Pimp C rap on one of my beats, but I actually got the opportunity to have Pimp C rap on my beat. So Pimp C was on it. Juvenile had a verse. Slim Thug had a verse.
Shit.
There was a lot of people on that record, and I think it was one other person. I can't remember. But yeah, fast forwarding back to the Bet That record. So now I got the Bet That records done. Now I'm officially producing on Trick Daddy's album.
Yeah.
Now I get the 1020 Life placement. They already had the song recorded, and it was Dre from Cool and Dre on the hook.
Okay.
And I think it was either them that produced the beat or Jim Johnson did. But they wanted a different vibe to it, so they gave me a shot at it.
And you did it?
And I made the record. I did the hook on it. That's me singing the hook on 1020 Life. This for my dog that's on the grind, facing biz and doing time. I'm fucking all the lyrics, so it's been a while. But yeah, that was me on the record. So I got that placement. It was like a domino effect. Once I got the Bet That record,
yeah, that's how it be.
I did the 1020 Life. Then they gave me another record that Trick already recorded, which was Born a Thug. Shorty's Gonna Be a Straight Thug. They let me produce that. I did 5 beats to that before they picked one. They picked one of the 5 beats I produced for that. Then I got that placement. Then I did Straight Up, you already know, featuring Young Buck. That was Trick Daddy featuring Young Buck.
Okay.
That was another solo record. I made the beat at my studio in Pompano. And then I did a whole song to it. It was 3 verses. It was a Gold Rush record, just like Bet That.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, with Bet That, the verse that I'm on is just 8 bars of one of the verses that I did on the whole record. And shout out to Trick Daddy for keeping me on the record. But that's how I ended up on Bet That. So with Straight Up, it's the same situation. I did a whole song to this beat, did the hook. I wrote the hook. It was me singing the hook. I did my 3 verses. Trick and Chuck loved it. So they was like, yo, and Mike Karen liked it too. So I let Trick hear it.
I want to hear some of these older records too.
I got a hard drive with him on there. But Trick hears it. And even with Bet That, he changed up a couple words. Like on Bet That, I said, I'm still riding them big lacks. I was talking about Cadillacs. I had a Cadillac at the time. So I said big lacks. You know, Trick ride Chevys.
Okay.
So he changed lack to whips. I'm still riding them big whips.
Oh, okay. I know
he changed like a couple of words to fit who he is.
But still, that was a hit record. It was dope.
Hell yeah. And then that's what happened with Straight Up. He changed a couple of the words. He did his verse, and then they sent it to Young Buck and had Young Buck do his verse. At that time, 50 and G Unit is in their prime.
Right.
So we get Young Buck on the record. And that originally was supposed to be Trick's lead single. It wasn't supposed to be Bet That. They were actually going to put Straight Up out as his lead single. But it got messed up to where Bet That became his lead single. And then they did the Tuck Your Ice In featuring Birdman.
I remember that.
Featuring Baby.
Yeah.
I was in that video as well. I was at the video shoot. So yeah, I get all of these placements, including You're Damn Right. I do 5 records on Trick Daddy's Back by Thug the Man. And this whole time, Trick didn't really want me to be no artist. Like, he felt I was doing too much.
He wanted you to stick as a producer?
And he always is like, yo, you need to be a producer. Like, you got the 5 hooks, you got the 5 beats, just focus on that. But I was like, in my mind the whole time, like, nah, man, I'm an artist. Like, I'm not really telling Trick, but I am at the same time.
Right.
Like, I'm telling Trick I could do everything.
You believed in yourself as an artist from a young age.
At this same time, I'm looking at Kanye West's journey with Jay-Z.
Right.
It's almost the same situation with me and Trick and with Kanye and Jay-Z, except I'm not nowhere near Kanye's level of success, but it was the same situation where Kanye knew he wanted to be a rapper and a producer, and he was under Jay-Z, giving Jay-Z beats.
Right.
But Jay-Z just never really believed him as an artist. Or maybe Jay-Z was just like, you should just be a producer, like how Trick was looking at it. I think Trick more was looking at it at an aspect like, don't try to be doing so much. Like, focus on being a producer and an artist and a writer, because you're good at that. So the whole time, I know I'm an artist. Like, that's what
that's all you gotta do, is as long as you
artist,
know.
I'm a producer.
Yeah.
I want to be big as an artist. I want to be big as a producer, and I always felt and
no reason why you can't be.
I still feel that you can do both.
You can do it all.
It's a lot of work, but I'm willing to do it.
You can do everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so they weren't really pushing me and focusing on me as an artist. I was more like Manny Fresh over there. I'm doing all the beats. I was doing some engineering too, but Chronic Chris was doing more of the engineering. He also made beats. Shout out to Chronic. So at the time, I'm trying to be an artist. I'm trying to be a producer, a writer. I'm all of this at the same time over there at Dunk Riders. I'm making all the beats for the Dunk Riders, for Iceberg, for Fella, for Bad Guy. Bad Guy had a single with me produced. I produced the majority of Iceberg's mixtapes. And then I ended up on Trick Daddy's album like 3 times as an artist. When they never really, they weren't pushing for that.
Right.
I forced my way on the album from my hard work and from me proving myself. So I end up on this album 5 times as a producer, but I was on Bet That. I featured on Bet That. I featured on 1020 Life, and I featured on Straight Up. I also wrote the hooks.
Yeah.
So now that's where Fuck the Other Side comes in. Now DJ Khaled is starting to bubble with I'm So Hood, with all the records he's putting out with Ross and Plies. I end up producing this beat at my studio in Pompano, which is the Fuck the Other Side beat. And Iceberg got a hold of it. I guess Chuck gave it to him, because I would go to the office and give Chuck all my beats every time I make them. I just, I come and bring that work. So I guess Chuck gave the beat to Iceberg. Iceberg, when I heard the song, it was done. I came to the studio.
It was already done.
And Iceberg was on the hook. It wasn't Trick Daddy. So Iceberg was on the hook. Iceberg had his first verse. Fella had his second verse. And Soup, which is Trick Daddy's brother, his little brother, he just got out of prison. He hopped on the third verse.
What year was this?
Bet that came out in 07. So this was in 07.
07? So Fuck the Other Side came out in 07?
Bet Fuck the Other Side came out in 2010.
Okay, so 10 years later, that record is still relevant in the clubs.
Yeah. But that's how that happened. I came to the studio to Carroll City, and they was like, yo, check this out. They played me the record, and the whole Fuck the Other Side record is done, but it didn't have Trick on it whatsoever. Then Trick redid the hook. He said the hook. So now it's Trick saying the hook, Iceberg, Fella, and Soup on the third verse. So now they put the record out, and then Trick ended up doing the third verse. I can't remember if Soup ended up getting locked up at that time or before that, but I know he was locked up and he got out, and Trick ended up on the third verse of the Fuck the Other Side song, and then we ended up shooting.
I say it twice, Fuck the Other Side.
So once we did the Fuck the Other Side record, right? Trick Daddy's Back by Thug the Man album is out. So now Trick and Cash Money partner up. Birdman Baby gave Trick Daddy a deal for Dunk Riders. So Dunk Riders we signed to Cash Money. So that's when the Fuck the Other Side record came about, because DJ Khaled was with Cash Money at that time. He's with Cash Money. So the record starts buzzing, and they decide to put it on Khaled's album,
right?
We Global. And Cash Money marketed the record, and they shot the video for it. So I got to be at the video. I was in the video. Birdman was there with us at the video.
It's dope. It's dope experience.
Yeah, we shot the video out in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And it was a dope shoot. But that's how Fuck the Other Side came about, and that was my biggest record that I've produced as far as billboards and radio goes.
And artists, let me get back to on that. Like, see how Fuck the Other Side 10 years later you could play it in the club and it will have the same effect every time, any club in the United States, because it's like you gotta inspire to make music like that.
It's almost like Fuck them other niggas when that shit comes on.
Exactly.
Fuck them other niggas, because I'm down.
You want people, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
my shit. And that's an old ass song, but every time it comes on, everybody's like, ooh. That's why I had to do that as Fuck song that you've been playing in the club. That I remixed it. I had to do that one. But yeah, shout out to No Limit. I always say this, Master P is like my inspiration. That's what made me want to be a rapper and want to get in the music game. Is just being a big fan of Master P and No Limit, Mystical, all them boys. But yeah, shout out to No Limit, shout out to Master P. But yeah, that's pretty much how all that happened. You know what I'm saying?
It's a dope story, man. That's history. It's hip hop history. Yeah. Basically, that's hip hop history.
Yeah, man. I'm honored to be able to be a part of it and work with artists like Trick Daddy, like Lil Wayne, like Jeezy, like who else am I missing? Chameleon there. Pimp C, definitely Pimp C. It was an honor working with him. There's so many people, man. Juvenile. I can't even think of all the rest of the names, man. But it's a lot, man. It's just an honor to be able to work with all of these people and do what I love, and just to have those accomplishments. Like,
hell yeah.
I'm not happy with where I'm at yet. I feel like there's so much more that I want.
There is.
And I want to be at a way bigger level than I am now. But if I was to die today, I could die somewhat kind of satisfied and happy with
that you went the way you wanted to go.
I've been on. I made it on TV. I made it on the radio. I was on a song with Trick Daddy. I produced on DJ Khaled's album.
It's just I would say if I were to die today, at least I died chasing my dream and not playing it safe and working in corporate America and being like, oh my God, hey, and I commend you on that. And you have so much further to go. That's you're gonna take off and you're gonna get to the Scott Storch level. Then you're gonna be like, you know what, fucking splurge all that money, blow it all, and then make it all back again.
Speaking of Scott Storch, that's another dude that I got to meet and got to work with. Like I met Storch when he was at his prime as well.
That's dope.
Like when I met Storch, I think he was
real talented producer.
Yeah, one of the that's
one of the best. Manny Fresh.
Yeah.
And Scott Storch, one of my favorite producers.
Those are two producers that definitely inspired me to just be a producer. Like I look up to Storch, I look up to Manny, all them boys. But yeah, I got to meet Storch through my boy Mike again. My boy Mike that initially said, let's go to South Beach to get a show. Somehow he met this dude named Jew Boy at a corner store near a halfway house. This dude, Jew Boy, is from Chicago. And he was dealing with all the gangsters out there. And he rapped. He was a Jewish kid that rapped.
Yeah.
So Mike didn't know, but the kid was he was dealing with Scott Storch because Scott Storch wanted him to be the first Jewish rapper. He wanted him to be like the first biggest Jewish rapper.
Yeah.
His name's Jew Boy.
Jew Boy.
Shout out to Jew Boy, man.
I like that.
So yeah, at that time, my boy Mike meets this kid Jew Boy, and he's telling Mike, yo, I work with Storch. I'm from Chicago, this and that. He's like, I'm staying right here at the halfway house. He had like a little drug problem, so that's why he was here in Florida.
I got
trying to get away from all of that craziness over there in Chicago. So Jew Boy and Mike establish a relationship. They start hanging out. So now one night he's like, yo, take me to Scott Storch's. So Mike takes him to Scott Storch's, and he's chilling with Storch and Jew Boy. So he's like, Rush, I got to get you in here with Storch. I think it's crazy he's hanging out with Storch, you know what I'm saying? So they set up a meeting. We go down there, and I went to the Hit Factory to meet Storch.
Stout.
And at this time, he's dating Lil' Kim.
She's there?
Storch was dating Lil' Kim. She was in, I think he bought her a Bentley or something. She was sitting in the car. I didn't get to meet her, though. But when I go there, we're inside the gate, and we find out Storch is in the middle of a session, and they're like, just kind of chill outside until it's time to come in. Mm-hmm. So we out there just chilling, and I hear this Hummer outside. I see it's a yellow Hummer sitting in front of us, and I could tell that there was some people in it because I could hear some girls and a guy talking in it.
Yeah.
So we don't know who it is. We're just sitting there, just waiting for Scott Storch to let us in the studio. All of a sudden, I see the door open, and guess who comes out of it? Busta Rhymes.
That's crazy.
So Busta Rhymes hops out the Jeep. This one he still had his dreads. And he got a couple girls with him. He starts walking out. He got like a couple security guards near him. And I'm over here trying to act like a hotshot on my phone. And I got a CD full of beats. So I'm like, I start walking up to Busta. I'm like, yo, production, I got some beats. And he flipped out on me.
For real?
He was like, yo, God, you don't fucking come up to me like that. He was like, his security guard came up in front of him while Busta Rhymes yelling at me. He's like, yo, you don't just walk up on me like that. You got to tell me your name, tell me what you do. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't mad at him because I kind of came at him. I'm young at the time.
Yeah.
I'm a teenager. I'm trying to act like I'm somebody.
Right.
And give him a CD of beats.
That's funny.
And this is before the whole Trick Daddy thing. I wasn't gold. I wasn't like... I didn't have my credits. I wasn't a big producer. I'm just trying to get in the game at that time.
I had a similar experience with Fat Joe. Like,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, I went to give him beats. The funny thing is I had met him before that. We had, like, a full-on conversation for, like, 20 minutes. Then I seen him again, and, like, it was at a show. And, like, I was working, doing promotions for 99 Jams back in, like, 2004. And, like... I was like, Joe, I got a beat CD for you. He looked at me. He stopped, looked at me right in the face, like, give me this crazy look, like.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, yo, is Fat Joe gonna like try to fight me? I was like, man, what the fuck going on? But no, he's like studying my face. I was like, oh, I just have beats. I was like, I met you in this at 99 Jams, like, you know, a couple months ago, and I asked my beat CD on. I just want to give it to you, and he's like, oh, I thought you looked like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I thought you looked like my boy that was locked up. He's like, I thought you got out. I was like, nah, it's not me. He's like, oh, all right.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. So.
But yeah, Busta snapped on me a little bit. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't mad at him because, like I said, I came at him kind of wrong. And, but yeah, he ended up snapping on me. His security guard took the CD. And then Q-Tip walks out the studio, And then Storch lets us come in because they just got done doing the song. So I come in there. Storch is playing me to just a little bit for 50 Cent. He just got done doing that record. And long story short, he gave me a beat. I did a song to it. I came back, played it for him, and we kept that relationship.
That's dope.
But yeah, man, it's just
You still know him today?
Nah.
You hit him up and shit?
He's in Cali now, I think. But you know what's crazy? He was just here in Deerfield. He was staying here. He had a studio in Deerfield like a couple years ago, right here at the Newport Center, right on 10th Street. And Storch was here for a while. I just didn't get to catch him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, this just a couple crazy stories. That's crazy that happened to you with Fat Joe, man.
Of course, I always get my beats out on the street, guerrilla style. I always have beat CDs with me. Yeah. When I was like 15, 16 years old, I always had beat CDs on me. Just whoever was,
I got a couple more stories like that too, but we're gonna say
for next time. We got that.
We're gonna say that for the next show. But yeah, man, I appreciate you.
Most definitely, thank you for having me, bro.
I know you gotta be somewhere. I know you gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, man, most definitely.
But yeah, it's DJ Kreep, man, the GoldMighne. Let them know where to follow you, all your platforms.
At real DJ Kreep, at Kreep OG, and Kreep is spelled with a K.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hit me up, follow me, all that.
Yeah, all you artists that got records you want played in the club or whatever, send them to them, hit them up, follow them. Follow me, Raidenrush, RAIDENRUSH. Follow me on Gold Rush Productions. That's all platforms on Raidenrush and Gold Rush Productions. It's the GoldMighne. We out. Paint the city gold.
Paint the city gold, my dick. Oh!